304.72. The next thing now is external purchase costs. External purchase costs. External purchase costs. Ukiangalia hapo juu, I think they were saying keep at themselves to us at, is it 4.1? So 4.1 times 80, because there are 80 units. 4.1 times 80 is what? 328. Again, they are saying they will sell to us at 4.3. So multiplied by 80. Hmm? 344. So what is the decision or what is the advice? For the key part, if you make by yourself, it will cost you 309. But if you know outside, it will cost you 328. So which one is better? You make or you buy? You make. It's better you make. What about the other one? You also make. Also make. So I think that is okay. Unless kuna swali. Hiyo ingine inafuata hapo unapamba nayo. But then Titus, you can read for us the other one.
The component resource on long cost of land and cost of that is the family the component price for one so much money and another is close to 1 million but it goes so much
Thank you. Thank you. So, in handling that, we will begin by saying at costs in difference points. At cost in difference points. I told you an indifference point is the point at which all the options are equally good. All the options are equally good. So the total costs of outsourcing should be equal to total costs of proposal 1. The total cost of outsourcing should be equal to total cost of proposal 1. So you say, let X be the annual requirement units. Annual required units. If you let X to be the units that are required, then when we outsource, 1 unit is costing us how much? 30. So 30x. But if you go to proposal 1, they are now saying we will have a fixed cost of how much? 1.8. And then there will be a variable cost of 12x. So solve that and tell me x is what? X is how many units? Huh? 1 million. $100,000 units. 100,000 units. Make sure that your calculator does not mess you. 100,000 units. Now, the meaning of this. First of all, this one is called fixed cost. And cost is called fixed if it does not change as the units change. These ones, they are variable costs. And the cost is called variable if it changes as the units change. So at 100,000 units, this side you will have 3 million. And this side it will also be 3 million. Because this is 1.8, that were 1.2, so 3 million. So at 100,000 units, the cost will be the same. Now, to say my difference point is the point at which the options and the considerations are equally good. So the question is, if you do one more unit beyond 100, this side, the cost will increase by how much? The cost will increase by how much? By 30. And this side, the cost will increase by 12. I've already explained what is a variable cost, so I'm expecting you to know. So if this side, they will increase by 30. Now this side, they will increase by 12. Which one is a better side? Huh? This side or this side? Outsource or proposal 1? Are you people understanding what is it that you're doing? See, we are producing, this is a scenario of producing, and we are analyzing costs. So do you go where costs are more or where costs are less? Less. You go where costs are less. So if you go to where costs are less, let's start again. Unaona kama tutaweza complete the circle. Ninasema hapa ukiproduce 1 unit, the cost will go up by. Hapa ukiproduce 1 more unit, the cost will go up by what? So which one is better? Is it okay? So, what then do you advise? Is that below 100,000 units, you outsource or you purchase. But above 100,000 units, use proposal 1. Use proposal 1. Nione at least mtu wa mtandao mmoja amerespond. Hata si jibu unapeana ni swali unauliza ni gani? Catherine. I think we are dealing with question number what? Number 10. Question number 10. Similarly, the total cost of proposal 1. Proposal 1 should be equal to total cost of proposal 2. So proposal 1 is 1.8 plus 12x. Proposal 2, they are giving us how many millions? Huh? 3 million. And a variable cost of what? 10x. So therefore, based on that, tell me x is what? $600,000. So that means the advice that we shall offer is that above 600,000 units, use proposal 2. Use proposal 2. Are we okay now with that? It is because if you use proposal 1, if you do 1 more unit here, itaongezeka na 12. Na hapa inaongezeka na what? Yeah, so it's better this one. Something that you can notice, though not for CASNEP or general life. You see, when you are between 0 to 100, the fixed cost is 0 because you are advised to do what? From source. But when you run between 100 to 600, you are advised to take 1.8 million fixed cost. If you are above 600, you are advised to take what? 3 million fixed cost. This is why the other day I told you that if you are SIGO, you should live in a SIGO room. You see that? If you are SIGO, you should live in a SIGO room, irrespective of how much you are earning. And by SIGO, I don't necessarily mean not married, because there are those of us who are married and for some reasons we live away from our partners, maybe for work reasons. So you don't have to go and get a big house. Just a SIGO room is enough. Then as the family grows, if we start with someone who is not married, you are SIGO, you should live in a SIGO room, so that the fixed cost is so small, if possible, equals 0. As equal 0 ni venye unakaa kwa wenyewe. But at least kukaa kwa wenyewe it will not be sustainable if you are working. Then when you get married, sasa mnaweza hamia kabedi 6. Mkae, ukibarikiwa na mtoto, now you can go to a 1 bedroom. Familia ikiendelea kupanuka, if possible, you can go now to a 2 bedroom. Ikiendelea kupanuka, you can go to a 3 bedroom. But by the time now, you require a 3 bedroom, kumaanisha familia yako ni kubwa na watoto sasa also wamekuwa wakubwa. That is the time now you should be thinking of maybe even building your own house. So as you grow or as your family becomes bigger, that is when you should embrace the fixed cost. But not you are alone and then you go picking a 2-bedroom house. It is not wise financially. Socially it may be okay. Tutakuangalia tukuheshimu, lakini tukikuheshimu we don't contribute to the rent. We already know that you are single and you live in a 2-bedroom house. Socially it may look what? Good. And people have reasons to justify. Atio na nikipata wageni wakuje. No, it's not good. The extra coins that you can use to pay the 2-bedroom is advisable you divert them to savings, then you invest them. When you invest them, by the time utakuja kuhitaji to build your own house, those two small investments that you made when you were SIGO, they will have grown into big investments and they will easily help you to build your home. But if everything that you earn when you are young, you will landlord, then when it will be time to build your big home, you will seriously struggle. And at times you may not even make it. So it's advisable you don't go embracing huge costs. Even building your own house is not really advisable. Let me appear controversial. Because most of us think that ukijenga nyumba yako now you have arrived. No. It's not good financially. By the time you build your own house, you should have built other investments that bring what we call passive income. Passive income is the money that comes your way without working. the money that you get for you when you work is called active. Like now, the money I will be paid after this lesson is my active what? Income. That I must come and make noise here for me to get those coins. But passive ni ile niko nimelala na pesa bado inaingia. So by the time you build yourself a home worth 8-12 million, ensure you have built what? Passive income. If you are not already there, because some of us already have homes. This is controversial. This thing is very, very important. And the other mistake, the two main reasons why you should do this is because if you build your house, your home, when your family is still young, or primary, if you you build a big home for them. But soon you realize they will be gone. Mtoto akifika form 4, si ametoka mikononi mwako. Akianza kuingia university hivyo ama college. From there, atakuja apate job ahamu. Finally, utajipata within no time, ukotuna mzee ama mama. And you build yourself a big, I hope you see those homes in the estates. Yes, and if you talk to some of those home owners, those homes in the near future, they become troublesome. Because you have like 5-bedroom house. Mko wawili, hata inabidi mnafunga zingine. Because even maintaining the rooms is what? Si vibaya, but ujipange sawa sawa. Okay. I don't have a lot of time for that, but at least I've made my point. Let's move to the next. You see, if you have built yourself a passive income, sahi hata ukitaka kujenga boma iko mpaka na swimming, utaweza. Iko na all the facilities. But at the early years, when everyone is struggling, unajenga tu kanyumba yenye si serious because you are still not stable. But ukikaa kwanza ujenge hizi mapasi, you build yourself a very nice home. The next decision inaitwa drop or retain. Drop. Drop or retain decision. I want to begin by asking you, have you ever thought of dropping someone or something? Or have you ever been dropped? Whether you umeepuka one of those two, if not both. Why drop? I'm a drop. Has it ever happened? Yeah. Have you ever thought of abandoning this CPA? And you started identifying some people who are doing so well. Now doing CPA. Have you ever thought about it? Okay, so what made you think? Oh, before I ask that, for those of us who are married, as you walk around, are there times you meet some people and start thinking they could have been better? Good. Kadri na unasema no. At least I already have some yes. So what made you think of abandoning CPA or dropping someone or something? What made you think? Or why did they drop you if they did? Asa kila mtu amenyamaza. Let's come back to CPA. Wacha tuachane na watu Let's narrow down to CPA. Why did you think of abandoning CPA? Kasema hii kazi ni fikiria mbali, acha tufikirie mambo mengine. Why did you think of that? Because you never abandoned. That's why today we are together. Yeah. Read. How would you clear? And wife clear. What made you think of that? Okay, even in the job market, it's not performing as you would have expected. Mary, anything? So, okay. Taitas, unafikiria kuachana na hii maneno? Tangu haze, you have always pursued. Walio, unafikiria kuachana na hii maneno?
I just wanted to take a break.
What made you take the break?
Because of the responsibility and also time.
Time responsibilities.
I felt like I just need that break. Then come back.
Yes. Hey, that's great. Have you ever thought of abandoning? Why? Constraints on resources of time, money. Okay. Oh, okay. I can see even Helen here is saying very demanding in terms of time. Having refers when you think you have passed. It becomes, yes, gathering, it becomes expensive when you fail. Okay. Yeah, good. Those are good responses, which we can summarize into two. This is a decision made. This is a decision made in situations where the actual performance is below the expected performance. The actual performance is below the expected performance. It is also made when a new option that appears better, than the current option has been identified. The decision is made by comparing total results. The decision is made by comparing total results of retaining and total results of dropping. Non-monetary factors to consider non-monetary factors to consider. One is behavior of fixed costs. Behavior of fixed costs. Number two is effect on staff morale. Effect on staff morale. Another one is effect on customers' goodwill. Effect on customers' goodwill. Next is future prospects. Future prospects. Next is relationship with others. Relationship with others. And another one is alternative use of the resources. Alternative use of the resources that may become idle. Alternative use of the resources that may become idle. The resources that may become idle. Those who are saying issues to do with time, issues to do with money, those ones are not taken as substantial reasons, because there is no single time that you will ever say you have enough time or you have enough money. So those ones are advisable that you create or you research. Time is created, it's never there. Is that so? Yeah, even money will never be enough. Will never be enough. It is only a matter of reallocating. It's only a matter of saying, sasa hii nitanunua hii. Sasa hii pesa sitaifanyia hii, nitapeleka shule. So those ones, according to the advisors in this, they are not recognized as hindrances. Yeah. And in any case, even if they are not there right now, they will not be absent all through. I think the other day tulisema huwezi kuwa broke all through, equally huwezi kuwa na pesa all through. Then issues to do with responsibility, huwezi kuwa na responsibilities all through. There comes a time when they go down. Yeah. So that's why they are not taken into considerations. So having said that, we are left with two other reasons. One is what I have already said, or what we have already been told, that the performance is below what you are expecting. Someone said that the market performance, according to them, is not good. Someone else said that the results are not good. What you thought you would get is not what you are getting, particularly after the exams. We all expect that CASNEB would tell us we have passed, but there are times they have told us otherwise. That's all. Yeah. So when they tell you otherwise, that is now the time you say that but after a while, then you still gather your courage and come back. And that's the reality. And the earlier you make agreement to this statement, the better. Hii maneno hutawahi achana nayo mpaka ile time tamaliza sem 6. Anielewa? Because you began. Hata ukienda nje ukae how long? Your conscience will be telling you kuna kitu bado hujamaliza. Even when you look at CPA na unaona haitawahi kukusaidia, you will not feel settled until uende mpaka set 6. Yeah. So hiyo lazima ukuje na uendelee. Myself, when I was doing my MBA, I began, and after 2-3 semesters, nikaona hii kitu haitawahi nisaidia. And I abandoned and went away for more than 7 semesters. So I kept on writing in my CV, MBA ongoing. And some people were asking me, utashinda ukiandika ongoing for how long? But I was already convinced I will not require this paper. But what I did, I suspended my activities, nikakimbia darasani, I settled, nikamaliza, hiyo karatasi bado iko nyumbani. I have never used it anywhere to apply for a job. But I cannot say what I gained there is irrelevant. I still maybe use it even in teaching a class like this one. But sikuwa naona kama itanisaidia kutafuta job. Iko tu, sijawahi hata fanya photocopy. But now I feel settled. Watu wa MBA wakiitwa sinaenda simama. Naweza simama hata mimi. So hata wewe is the same thing. Hii maneno lazima utakuja kumalizia. So the area upambane, the better. Usigoje like some of my good friends who are now in class with their young ones. Nagira niambia mtoto wangu si amepita. Na mimi ananishida hapana. Or you think it can't happen? Upate mtoto na akuje apite Sec 5. Okay, you may not know, but at least for myself, I know because I'm teaching these people. The other thing is you identify a new option that appears better. Like where now you are currently working, you could be comfortable. You don't have a lot of issues. But in one of these fine days, another company has advertised a job. And it looks what? Better. Then you start asking yourself, why go, why remain? Now, of those two factors, you should be guided more by the poor performance than the new option. When you want to make a decision of dropping or retaining, look at more of, or be guided more by when the actual performance is below the expected performance, but not when you see a new one. The one of new one is a bit slippery, and there is a lot of advice against it. That's why you hear people saying that the grass on the other side is always what? Greener, until you get to the other side and realize it is drier than even where you have come from. And you know, some of these things in life, once you get out, the bridges are disconnected. You may not easily go back. So before you say I have gone, before you go for the greener grass, hakikisha for sure it is greener than what you have. They also tell us it is better a devil that you know than an angel. Yes. So that's a serious statement. Kwa Kiswahili unaambiwa afadhali ukae na shetani mwenye unajua hii ni shetani kabisa kuliko yule unaona kama ni malaika. Hope you can think about that. Now, when making this decision, you are supposed to look at total results and the total results. When we say total, it is both positive and negative. In any relationship that you are in, it has positive side and negative what side. Even the one you have with your employer. All of us, I hope you are in that category. We all complain about our employers, how they don't pay us enough, how they oppress us, those kind of stories. But you don't resign. You have worked there several years. But ukiangalia ni kweli kuna mashida hapo, but on the other side, there are also good things. Even other relationships, personal relationships that we are in, we have problems, but we don't quit. Because when we look at the negatives, they are fewer than what? The positives. And unaona, I would be better when I'm in this relationship, so I'm not 100% happy, than not being with this relationship. So you look at the total results. The other thing is these non-monetary factors. One, behavior of fixed cost. Tukaamua sahi tunafunga hii class, section 5. Can we go to the landlord tumwambie sasa tunapunguza rent kidogo because you are no longer teaching sec 5? We need to check on that. Number 2, what effect are we having on our staff? Tukifunga hii class, the 3 of us who teach this class will become jobless. Wale wanafunza these are the next room, they should not start laughing at us. At yo, tuambia mfanye kazi kwa bidii mpate wanafunzi. Hii mkacheza cheza, sasa imefungwa, takuwa mnakula nini? Kwendeni nyumbani. You should not laugh because they say in Kiswahili ukiona cha mwenzio chanyolewa na chako unatia maji. They don't know whether ni policy ya shule that leo tunafunga 5, kesho tunafunga. Yes. The other thing is, what message are you sending to your customers? Leo mkikuja mpate section 1, wote wameambiwa waende nyumbani. The college is no longer offering sec 1. It should affect you in as much as you will never go back to sec 1. you start seeing that the future is not what? Very stable. Actually, there is something else there that we have said what? The future prospects. And future prospects is very, very important. And that's one I would want to emphasize. Because as I keep on telling you, every day in your life, you are either making new relationships or maintaining the existing what? Relationships, or quitting existing relationships. Now, when it comes to making new relationships and proposals have come your way, as you analyze them, don't be so keen to look at the current factors. Look at the future factors. I can come your way and today I don't look like I can make it, but my future looks what? A bit better. So be more keen to look at the future. Don't look at the current. Don't look at the current. And that's a mistake most people do. They evaluate based on the current. Look at the future. Actually, even when mmekosana na mtu, kwa normal relationships huwa tunakosana. Don't be very strong. Don't be very strong in letting them know that you no longer want their relationship. Because again, you never know about the future. For example, if you have this friend of yours, mukipatana zile story anakupeanga hazifurahishi, ni mseme you don't like those kind of things. You should not again be very quick kumwangalia on the face, wewe hii maneno yako unachitaka ukinipea staki kaa kando. You can also solve it by avoiding the person. That's it. Yes. Akikwambia mkutane, unamwambia I'm held up. Akikuja mahali huko unamwambia kuna mahali nilikuwa naenda. You can avoid it that because you never know huyu mtu amshenee kesho unaweza muhitaji. Sio? Yes. So it's advisable that you don't endanger the future. As you deal with the current, be very keen to remember that there is future. Yeah. The other thing is alternative use of the resources that may become idle, and then also the relationship with others. There are some people we retain in our relationships, not because we like them so much, but they are friends of others that we require. And you know, there are some people you cannot access until you go through others. Are you aware of that? There are some people you cannot access until you go through others. Look at politics. Look at politics. If you want to approach Nyanza, can you ignore Raila? Huh? Can you ignore him? If you want to approach Rift Valley, can you ignore Ruto? If you want to come to Central, can you ignore who? If you want to go to Kaban, yes. And the same thing happens even in our personal relationship. You may want to approach me and it becomes very difficult. But kuna mtu who you can access and the person can access me very fast or can bring you quickly to me. So you need to know what is the relationship. So that ukikata hapa, usiende kukata the other side. Good. So we handle the next question. That should be the last question. Eh? So we need some. The last question.
If the student is products that is including ability for that value, you are given the following budgeted item about the pounds and you know the product you have the ABC, you will have the sales units, revenue, costs, and particularly budgets, profit, and loss. The company is concerned about the loss on product A. It is considering ceasing production of it, exceeding the exterior capacity of 100,000 units to produce 100,000 units more of product C. We are told 20% of the labor cost for each product is fixed in nature. Fixed administration of items. Sharing 900,000 in total have been apportioned to each product on the basis of the units sold and are included in the overhead cost above. All other overheads are according to the picture. C, ceasing production of product A will eliminate the fixed labor charge associated with it, and 1/6 of the fixed administration overhead apportioned to product A. And D, increasing the production of product C by another 100,000 units will mean that the fixed labor cost associated with product C by 100,000 units will mean that the fixed labor cost associated with product C will double. The variable labor cost will rise by 20%, and its selling price will have to be increased by 1.5 shillings in order to achieve the increased sales. While advice whether product A should be treated from the product range, giving results for decision.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we begin answering that question by having some workings. Let's start with labor costs. Labor costs. Now, labor costs, we will analyze it this way. We have the products here. A, B, and C. We begin with fixed costs. Ukiangalia kwa hiyo table, labor cost iko na product A iko na labor cost ya how much? 400. And we are told 25% is fixed. So 25% of 400 is what? $100. So the next thing is variable costs. So the variable costs will be from this 400 to less 100. And that will give us 300. Give us 300. Twende kwa B. B iko na total ya how much labor? 320. So 25% of that, 80. So 320 minus 8, 240. C iko na total ya how much? 160. So 25% is 40. So this is 160 minus 40, you get 120. That is the analysis for labor costs. The next thing that we need to address, is called fixed overhead absorption rates. Fixed overhead absorption rates. So the fixed overhead absorption rates will be given as budget fixed overheads, budget fixed overhead costs, and according to the question, we are told they are driven by units. So budget units. Budget units. So these overheads, tulikuwa tumeambiwa they are 900, 900,000. Now the units of A ni ngapi? 100,000. The units of B, 120,000. The units of C, 80,000. So it is Kenya shillings 3 per unit. 3 shillings per unit. So with that, we can now have analysis for overhead costs. Overhead costs, we have the products. And the fixed costs. So if we start with A, we have 3 shillings multiplied by these units of A, 100. So that gives you 300. That gives you 300. Then we come to the variable. Come to the variable. So the variable will be, ukiangalia kwa hiyo cost statement, product A has been given an amount of what? The overheads for A, 650. So 650 minus 300, that means tumeachiwa 350. Tumeachiwa 350. We got product B. Same 3 times 120. That gives us what? 360. The total amount me 600. 600 minus 360 is 200 and what? 40. C, it is 3 times 80 It is 240. Total ya asini 360. So 360 minus 240, we get 120. So let's have analysis table. The analysis table will have 3 columns. 3 columns, and we shall divide them as we record the figures, or we record what is there. So the first column is called details. So for details, we will have revenue. That's the first column. So it's not going to be as wide. So the other two, so here, really, it is product A retained. Product A retained. If you retain, tumesema these decisions are made by comparing totals. So what is the revenue of product A? 1,500. The revenue of product B, 1,440. And the revenue of product C, 880. So give me this total. That is 20. So maybe your column is the next column is product A dropped. Product A dropped. So when product A is dropped, what will happen is that this revenue of A will not be there. So we will have the revenue of B, 1,440. We will also have the revenue of C, 880. But as I told you, anything that is variable, when the units change, it is going to change. And the new value is obtained by first of all getting the current value per unit. You get the current value per unit. So the current value is this 880, you divide by 80 units. That is the current value. Now, in one of the additional information to your viewer, that when you stop producing these 100 units of A, you will take them to C. So C now will have 180. And because C now will have more units, for you to sell all of them, you must reduce the selling price. By how much? 1.5. 1.5. So this one, you less 1.5. You less 1.5. When you less 1.5, you multiply by the new number of units. By the new number of units. 180. Yes. See your selling price, current selling price, 1.5, multiplied by the new number of units. Where is coming from? Mahali tuliambiwa, when you stop producing A, those units are transferred to C. Can you see that additional information? Equal information gani? C. Is it C or D? C. C ndio iko na 100, inafanya tukue 180. D ndio iko na 1.5, si ndio? Yeah, D ndio iko na 1.5. That 150. 150. Then you say less variable cost. You less the variable cost. So the first variable cost that you can see there is materials. A currently has a material of what? 500. B iko na material ya 480. And C iko na material ya 240. So add them. $12.20. When you discontinue A, this 500 will be no more. So we will have the 480 and these 240. And as I've told you, anything that is variable, when units change, you first of all divide by the new the current. Then multiply by the new one. It is the same thing to tulifanya kwa ile swali lingine pale tulikuwa na batches. We had the old batches and the new batches. The same thing. So that gives us how much? $120. 10.20. Whether kwa labor. Labor, the component that is variable, we have from our workings here 300 plus 240 plus 120. $660. When you discontinue A, this 300 goes away. So tunaachiwa 240 ya B. na hii 120 ya C. And first of all, you take it back to per unit. And then multiply by the new number of units. And then there is something we are told, I think by P, that the variable labor cost will increase by what percent? 20%. So you multiply by 1.2. Multiply by 1.2. Multiply by 1.2. Grade 24. Have you added 240? 564. Twende kwa overheads. So the overheads from our workings here, currently we have 350 plus 240 plus 120 710. So here we will have 240 plus 120. You divide by 80 times 180. $510. What's up? Okay. Saying it's okay. Let me check. Confirmed. I told you, Markisha, your calculators do not mess. Confirm. So it's okay. So those are the variable costs. Now to go in fixed costs. So fixed costs, we start with labor. We start with labor. So labor, we have this one, 100, gonna 80, na gonna 40. So that gives us an amount of 220. Under normal circumstances, fixed costs are supposed to be made. But as you remember, we have been saying you need to check the behavior of fixed costs. So this question says that the entire fixed cost of A will go. See there? The entire fixed cost of A will go. The back in the one for B, and then the one for C will do what? Will do what? Will be double. So when is the doubles? Now what is the meal total? Yeah? 160. 160. Haya, tukuje kwa overheads. For the overheads, we already have this 300 plus 360 plus 240 900. And then the question says that as far as the fixed overheads are concerned, only a sixth of A will disappear. In other words, from this 900, we will less 1 out of 6 of 300. That's the only one that will disappear. The other one will remain. You have 850. So now compute and tell me what are the profits. Na kwanza inaleta profit ya 110. Huyu mwingine analeta 46. So what advice do you offer? Huh? We should retain the profit. Let me see a past paper. Retain the product. Now for your practice, you can do the following questions. May 2021. May 2021, question 3A. May 2021, question 3A. November 2018. November 2018, question 1B. November 2018, question 1B. Those are enough. And practice on those. So we will call it a lesson at that point. I think last time we agreed that we will be meeting all the Saturdays that are remaining from 2 to 5, effective from next Saturday. Yeah, effective from next Saturday. That would be good. I'm going to give you some notes for the next topic called budgeting. I'll send them on the WhatsApp group, and I advise that you get time and copy. Get time and copy. Don't just retain the handouts or the soft copy. It is very, very important to copy so that we can discuss them in the next lesson. For those who are physical, maybe you can get the hard copy on Monday, or if you are remaining, brother will be able to make before you leave. Let's talk of Monday. You may not be overambitious. So, on Monday, if you need a physical copy, you can get it. And I was recording.